Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, then welcome. My name's Kristina, and on my channel we talk all things beauty from my experiences. So if you guys are looking for the best and most honest how-tos and reviews from a consumer's perspective, then make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave any comments that you have for me down below. Rare Beauty recently came out with their version of a tinted moisturizer. I have the shade 32N. This is a neutral undertone, and I'm really excited to try it out. I did an entire Rare Beauty video when they first launched, like their first ever launch. I think like maybe 2 years ago it was. Go watch that if you're interested in seeing some of the foundational products that they came out with. As you guys know, I love my medium coverage foundations, anything that's lightweight and anything that I can throw on throughout the day. So this tinted moisturizer launched at the end of March 2022. There are 24 flexible shades. It's a medium coverage moisturizer and it retails for $29. I purchased mine at Ulta. I'm sorry, that's wrong. I picked mine up at Sephora. If you guys want to pick it up at Sephora right now, they're having their VIB sale. It's also available on Sephora.com, and it's also available on Rare Beauty's website. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and read some of the claims on here because I think it's important if you guys are looking at a tinted moisturizer and you kind of want to see and compare it to other ones that are on the market right now. So it's a no makeup, throw it on with your fingers, breathable tinted formula, blends like a moisturizer into a smooth, hydrated, naturally radiant finish. SPF 20, and it's actually a mix of chemical and physical sunscreen. So zinc oxide is going to be your physical sunscreen, and then I can't remember exactly which one, but anything else I'm pretty sure is a chemical sunscreen. Wow, I'm terrible, especially for someone that advocates for sunscreen so heavily. Their whole thing with adding both types of sunscreen is that it's not going to leave you a white cast like a physical sunscreen would. That's really nice. It also is supposed to feel more lightweight because, again, physical sunscreens, they leave a white cast and they can feel a little heavier, whereas a chemical sunscreen absorbs into the skin and it feels less heavy and you don't get that white cast. It says that it's a long-lasting coverage. It's so weightless that it actually moves with your skin instead of settling into it. You can do pretty much any form of application. I think I'm going to do the brush, and then I think I'm going to do the fingertips and then blend it in with my sponge. So we're going to kind of see how it works with all of those applications. And it says for best results, prep skin with their Always an Optimist primer, and then set it with the setting powder. I did purchase the powder a couple weeks ago and I tested it out for a while and I did not like it. Unfortunately, I felt like the medium was way too dark for my skin tone, and I also was inclined to get the light, but I felt like the medium oxidized on my skin, so I wasn't a huge fan. It looked okay, but it also didn't really prevent creasing under my eyes when I did try it out. I am going to be trying out the One Size Ultimate Setting Powder. I just picked up a travel size to see if I like it. So when I was at Sephora and I was swatching the shades, I was between a 32N and a 38N. Now I'm a neutral undertone, so I didn't really want to mess with the cools and warms because those always pool wrong on my skin, right? So I tried the 32N. I felt like it matched my face really well, but my body is actually a lot darker than my face because I do put a lot of sunscreen on throughout the day on my face. Therefore, my face is a lot lighter than my body. I tried the 38N, and while it was dark enough to match my body, it was too warm, so it was a little too yellow. So I stuck with the 32N. I think we can make it work. So I'm just going to shake this up. This is what the unit looks like. It has this little indentation on it. I'm not quite sure why. I'm not sure if it's supposed to fit in with another piece in their line. The cap is very similar to the primer cap, which I'll show you guys right now. This is the Always an Optimist primer. So, oh look, I got the travel size of this and it's like the same exact size. How cute. Oh, I love that. Are they supposed to? Oh, they kind of fit into each other. They really fit into each other. Do you see that? Okay, cool. Well, these are gonna sit right next to each other. So it is a plastic squeeze tube, which is nice. I just feel like I can get more product out of it, to be honest. So this is what it looks like. This is the consistency. You can kind of see it running down the back of my hand very slightly. And then when you go to blend it out, it feels very lightweight, almost feels like it has a slight gel texture to it, but not really. So you can definitely feel and see that it's going to give you some good coverage. I kind of feel like tinted moisturizers these days are more like lightweight foundations. It's just that brands are using the term tinted moisturizer because they're putting more moisturizing properties into the products, not necessarily like you can replace your face moisturizer with it. At least I don't know, to each their own, honestly. So I'm gonna go in with the Always an Optimist primer, and I haven't used this in a really long time, I will admit. I just stopped using it because I started using other primers, you know, it just kind of happens, and then I forgot about it. So what I think I'm going to do is go in with my fingertips and apply it on the right side, and then I'm going to use my beauty blender to blend out anything that is looking a little streaky or anything, since we're blending with our fingers. And then on the left side, I'm going to go ahead and use the Rare Beauty foundation brush. This is the Rare Beauty foundation brush. I love this. I use it all the time. It gives you really great coverage and it just blends your foundations really well. And I also like using it because of that pointed like tip right there. I'll use it for my foundation, and then I'll also use it to blend out my concealer. I'm going to take a little bit on my fingertip, just right there, and I'm going to go in and blend it. So you definitely get a lot of coverage right off the bat. I think I'm going to also take this onto my forehead. I wasn't sure if I would need more. And you guys saw how much I used. That was really not that much product. I honestly feel like I could do this on my entire face. Ooh, did I put too much? I think I put too much. Okay, so I'm actually going to take my beauty blender and blend the rest. I think I did way too much, so the beauty blender is going to be able to soak that in. But this is what it looks like blended out with my finger. Very streaky. Again, I think I took way too much, so if you were to blend with your finger, use a very small amount and then just build on top of that. Looks very hydrated. The coverage is really good. I actually think that this color is really nice for my natural skin tone on my face. I think it took a lot of coverage away from here, or I'm just really noticing my breakouts. So this is the Tinted Moisturizer blended out with my fingers and with a sponge. It's very hydrated. It kept that glow. I do still see a little bit of redness on my pimples. So this is without anything on, and this is with the Tinted Moisturizer. It's a very good, very nice base, I think. I like the way that it looks. I like that it looks very dewy. I don't think that it looks like a layer on the skin. I'm going to take the smallest amount though, and then just pat it on to this pimple right here, these two pimples, and see if I can get a little bit of coverage or if I need to go in with some concealer. So I just took this much, really nothing at all, like the slightest amount. And I'm going to go in and just dab that on top. And dabbing just around it, not really on top of it. It did cover a little bit of that redness. I can still see it though, so I will go in with some concealer just because that's what I prefer. But yeah, I like the finish of this. I definitely think it's that standard moisturizer, tinted moisturizer look where it's very hydrated. If you are oily or if you don't like this type of finish, you may want to set it with a powder. I think it's sitting really nicely. I'm going to be interested to see how it layers with other products, so other creams and powders and stuff like that. So next we're going to go in this side with the foundation brush. I'm excited to see this. I feel like it's going to give me even more coverage. So I'm going to put some on my fingertip and dot it along here. I did a little less than earlier. And now I'm going to use the foundation brush to blend this out. So right off the bat, I can tell that I like the application with the foundation brush more. I'm really not the type to like to apply things with my fingertips, like foundation wise. I mean, I'll apply it, but I won't like stop there. I'll either use a brush or I'll use a sponge or something to finish it off. I can never just apply with my fingers and then feel like I'm good to go. So that was kind of expected, but I definitely wanted to try it to see. I just added a little bit more on my cheek here to see how much coverage I can get. Right away, I can tell I got a lot more coverage on this side. You can't see my freckling as much as you can see it on this side right here on my cheeks. Typically right here is where you can see the freckling. I can definitely still see everything. So, I mean, it's there. It's not super covered up. If anything, it's just really evened out my skin tone. But I like the way that this has evened it out, but it also has given me a little bit of coverage. I feel like I can definitely do another layer of this on both sides and see if I like that. I feel like for me personally, I may want to do that. But this is what it's looking like, one layer. And again, I'll just do like a little head turn so you guys can see what it looks like. Love the dewy finish of it. I'm not sure if the primer is necessary if you don't like this much of a dew. I definitely think that it would be more subdued if you didn't use the primer and you just went in with like a moisturizer or just the tinted moisturizer. So because I already know that I like the finish with a brush, I'm going to go in with a little bit more of the tinted moisturizer onto the right side of my face where my freckles are, just to cover that up a little so it's even. I don't see it really accentuating any of my pores. I don't see it sinking into any lines. So I have this Rare Beauty concealer in the shade 270N. I don't know if this is going to be too dark, too light. Again, it's been quite a while since I've used this. I remember really liking the concealer and I used it for a long time. It gives really good coverage, but it's not too intense in my opinion. All right, this is the face with foundation and concealer and also primer. So I like the way that it's looking. It's a good base so far. Again, I'm really interested to see how other products are gonna sit on this. So I have some Rare Beauty blushes here. I think I'm gonna use this little baby one that I got. This is in the shade Grace. I love the Rare Beauty cream or liquid touch blushes. They are so good, very pigmented, so definitely only need a little bit. My favorite is Joy. This is such a good color. Also gonna use their highlight, and I'm gonna do some cream bronzing and set it with this powder from One Size. So I'm going to do all of that stuff and I'll come back to you guys with a finished face to kind of show you exactly what everything is looking like. Alrighty guys, I am back. I finished my entire face of makeup. I'll put in the description box down below for you guys everything that I use in case you're wondering. So before I actually went in and did my makeup, I had to pause for about 20 minutes to answer some emails really quickly. And as I did that, the foundation pretty much stayed looking the same. So it didn't settle into anything. It didn't dry down too crazy. It looked pretty much the same as when I applied it 20 minutes prior. So that was really nice. And that makes me believe that this tinted moisturizer really does last and stay the way that they claim it does on the website. Now, after I set it with powder, I did find that in some areas of my face, it is looking a little like it's clinging to the face. So for instance, right around my nose right here, I can kind of tell that it's a little caked. Right around my upper lip, and then in between my eyebrows, I can kind of tell it looks a little drier, a little flaky. Now, I will say there's a disclaimer here. So I did set with a One Size powder. It's like their finishing powder or something. And this is my first time using it. I probably shouldn't have done that. I apologize. It might have ruined the way that I test this, to be honest, but I'll put in the description for you guys when I wear this again. I'm going to wear it again tomorrow and let you know how that feels, and I will probably only set it in my T-zone with my Laura Mercier, which I use every time. Well, currently that's the one that I've been using. So I'll let you guys know how those specific areas settle tomorrow. But I'll give you guys a little close up of those areas and also just the face in general so you can kind of see how it's sitting on my face right now. So far it is feeling really lightweight. I would say that this coverage on me is a light coverage because of the fact that it didn't completely cover up the redness that I have on those acne spots right now. And also because my freckles weren't completely covered. Only when I use the brush did I find that I got like better coverage. So it definitely can be light coverage if you use your fingertips or if you use a beauty blender, but it can also be medium coverage if you use a brush. But overall, I would say just compared to everything and like all the tinted moisturizers that I've used recently, I would say this is a light coverage, which is really nice for an everyday type of thing. I'm kind of the type of person that will either not wear any makeup or I will do a full face, and that's not necessarily like full coverage foundation. That's more like if I do makeup, then it's like the eyebrows, the eyes, my foundation, my concealer. Like I'll do all of that stuff, or I'll just go barefaced and I'll just put sunscreen on and I'll be done. But this I feel like would be a good addition to when I want to do just a little bit of makeup. So if I throw this on to my face and then curl my lashes and brush my brows up, I think that would be a really nice like running errands type of thing. Or if I want to use something that has a little bit extra sun protection. Now, I wouldn't use this specifically like a sunscreen because like I've said before, you can't really gauge how much sun protection you're getting in a makeup product because it's not concentrated sunscreen, you know what I mean? So it's very dependent on how much of the product you use. That depends, or that dictates how much sun coverage you get. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So for me, I like to use sunscreen and then I'll top it with other products that may have sunscreen in them. Oh my gosh, wait, hold on. Before we get into that, I didn't set my face. I have the Rare Beauty spray, the setting spray. Now, this setting spray is definitely a dewier one. So you have to make sure that this is the type of finish that you like. So if you're oily, I wouldn't recommend it. If you're normal to dry, I think it's great. I think this might actually help with those kind of like drier patches. So let me go ahead and spray my face. And I'm going to let that settle as I talk, and then at the end, I'll kind of look at my face and reassess for you guys. So overall, what do I think of this Tinted Moisturizer? My first impression. So I like it. I definitely think that it's a light coverage. I think it would be a great everyday type of tinted moisturizer to use. Or if you just prefer a lighter coverage, this would be a really beautiful one. The fact that it has skincare ingredients in it as well is really nice. It's never going to act as my sole skincare routine, but I think it's nice to have. Overall, I really do love Rare Beauty. I love the price point of their products. I love the way that their products work, except for the powder. I was very unsure about the powder, to be honest. If you're just starting out with makeup, or if you know of someone that's younger that wants to start getting into makeup, this might be a really good option for them because it gives them a little bit of flexibility with shade. It gives them a little bit of flexibility with coverage. I will recommend to go in stores and swatch the different shades because like I said, if I were to look at the website and just pick my shade, I'm not entirely sure if I would have picked 32N. I think I might have gone darker, to be honest, and I think that's what I did with the original foundation when I ordered it online. All right, so looking at my face after I set it with that setting spray, I can tell that in between the eyebrows already, that looks better. It does still look a little cakey right here, but I don't want to risk spraying another spritz of that and making my face too dewy. So I'm just going to kind of leave that. It's not too noticeable when I hold the mirror a little farther, but when I'm really looking up close, I can kind of tell. That could be user error. I might have put too much on that crevice right there. I don't really know, but this section looks a lot better. My upper lip actually does also look a lot better. So either set it with a setting spray, spray it down with like Fix Plus or the Rare Beauty one or whatever you have on hand. That may help if you're having a little bit of dryness. And again, I will update you guys in the description when I use a different powder. I may test it out tomorrow to where I powder one side of my face and I don't powder the other. So just open that description box so you guys get all the details. And yeah, if I missed anything or if you have any questions for me, please let me know in the comments down below. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it informative. And if you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.